I'm good to go. So, hello everyone. I wasn't really expecting this many people. This is my first training session, so it's nice to see so many people here. I probably haven't seen you around the museum. As Spencer said, I am a student at University at the moment, soon to be graduate, so this is kind of like my last project, and it's been really nice. So I'm excited to kind of tell you more about it and what we've been doing. I would have kind of preferred to do a guided tour around the exhibition, but the installation isn't until Friday, so we'll just have to. I've made a presentation, and we'll just go through some key things, and then have loads of time at the end for questions. So if that works for you, let's get started. There we go. Yeah, so just a little overview about the exhibition. Key details that you might want to know. So obviously it is in the Wirth Gallery. We are showing 9 works on paper by Frink and 2 of her sculptures. And these come from 2 different series by Frink. So the first is Captain Tales, and then Children of the Gods. And they both have kind of a literary theme to them, which I will kind of go on to talk more about. But yeah, kind of the main aim really is to explore Frink as kind of like a storyteller. She's very famous. I don't know how many of you do know Frink, but she's mainly known for her sculpture. So the exhibition is kind of exploring her works on paper instead, which is a nice kind of new angle that visitors might not know to Frink. And within this, the works that I show do kind of show how Frink has taken on a storytelling role, which is quite unusual for her as well. And then just some key themes. So humour, some of the interpretations that Frink has told, interpreting the stories are often quite humorous, as we'll look at later. Yeah, obviously storytelling, violence, some of the depictions are quite violent, which is quite a unique take on Greek mythology, and of course fantasy, so it kind of draws on literature, on the books that Frink has kind of illustrated. But yeah, I think she didn't really, I remember reading that she didn't really want her work to be defined by gender. She didn't really want people to kind of focus on gender that much, but I think she just kind of preferred the male form, and I think she liked how it was. I think she saw a lot of kind of the classical depiction of male form. So in Rome, if you go to look at sculptures, and there's a very particular way that they look, and I think she wanted to turn that on its head, and kind of. I haven't included any of the male figures that she made, but they are quite different to that. They're quite jagged, quite rough. And so I think that's probably, I'm not sure why she chose to use the male form as exploring quite heavy subjects. I think it does stem from kind of seeing the destruction when she was younger, living in the air base and kind of living through World War II, and kind of I think she thought about the kind of futility of it all. So I think that's kind of why she used it to explore those subjects. But, you know, it could be something different. It's hard to say. Anything else? Sorry.
Were the literary prints commissions from publishers?
I don't think the Canterbury Tales ones were. I think the Children of the Gods might have been, because they were published in the book by Kenneth MacLeish. I'll have to double check that though. I think she
I have a feeling Folio Society used some things with hers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she did quite a few other classic tales, and I think they might have been commissioned. She did a lot of commissions in sculpture, so I imagine she probably did a lot of commissions in printmaking as well. Yeah, but I don't think the Canterbury Tales were. I think they were more experimental series. Anything else?
What do you think about after you've done
Yeah, I've done a lot of reading on her. I've read a lot of books about Frink. I really liked her. I think I would have liked to have met her. I think as a person she seemed very kind, very humorous, and I like the themes that she kind of drew on. I like that in this exhibition you can kind of see a different side to that though, because it can be quite heavy reading a lot about what she chose to portray, so struggle, aggression, brutality, kind of all that stuff in the world, but I think it's nice to see a different side to her. And I think as a person she was quite gentle and she was very polite and very professional to work with. So I do like her. I think her work is very interesting. Before this, I haven't really researched much sculpture, especially not from this period. So it's nice to kind of have something new to learn about. But yeah, you'll have to make your own judgments when you see the exhibition. Anything else? No? Okay, well, I guess we can wrap it up there. If you have, feel free to, I think you can get my email from Nina or Monty if you have any questions, or feel free to ask them any questions you have. But yeah, this should be open 22nd, so a week on Wednesday. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
She wanted to kind of use the male form to instead explore something on the opposite side, so vulnerability and why we should be humanity as well. So associated with aggression and with struggle. It's
differentiation.
yeah, I think she drew a
See,
yeah, so time for questions if you have any. I hope that kind of made sense. There's so much to kind of pack into a short presentation on the exhibition. So, yeah, any questions? Anything about Frink? Yeah.
You said it was an acquisition. Does that mean it was given to us, or we bought it, or we borrowed it?
It was gifted, so it was just given to us from the Frink estate. I think they gave kind of divvied it up to a lot of museums, as far as I know. I don't know which other museums did receive works, but yeah, it was a gift. Any other questions?
Was she self-taught? You mentioned the latter work. Was she self-taught for the sculpture work as well?
So I think she went to the Guildford School of Art. I think as a teenager she went to Venice, or she went to Europe, and kind of saw a lot of the works there, and the art work there, and the Renaissance pieces, and that inspired her to go to art school. So I think she trained under some quite big sculptors, and that kind of inspired her pursuing that route. So I guess she was self-taught really. I think her style really evolved over the course of her career. And I think even with printmaking, she worked a lot with printers. So Nigel Oxley, I think, did both of those series. So she was keen to learn, and she liked to experiment in her own time though. Yeah, at the back.
I was just bemused by that quotation that you started this whole thing from of hers, because with this current thing about discussing the objectification of women, and that women appear for the male gaze and all of that, that current thing.
Yeah.
But that description of I chose the male because ... whatever those three editors were, now I forget. But
Yeah.
why? How does that differentiation from female? Those three editors